We are living in unprecedented times. No matter what industry you come from, we must all review, rethink, and reinvent ourselves. Are you an entrepreneur that is trying to adapt your business to the new norm? Well, you are listening to the 2020 Entrepreneur, a podcast that will motivate you and have you think outside of the box. My name is Hugo Almeida, and with over 30 years of being an entrepreneur, I am here to share and inspire you with my experiences and help invent a new you. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to a new episode of T20E World. Hugo here, and I have a special guest with me, Romina Muhametaj. How are you, Romina?
I'm good. I'm blessed. How are you today?
I'm awesome. Hey, thank you so much for hopping on our podcast today. I am so ecstatic to have you here. We got a lot to talk about, Romina.
We do, and thank you. Pleasure all mine for being here. I'm excited to share as much as I can and help other entrepreneurs as much as I
love
can.
It. I love it. So a little bit about us. And first off, today's topic is about building a solid foundation in life. And anything that you ever do, I don't care if it's business, sports, schooling, entrepreneurship, you need to start with a solid foundation. And Romina and I, we're going to be chatting to you about the foundation of life. But before we go in, I want to share how we met, right? Podfest 2021, we're both speakers. I hope everybody out there is registering. And if you go to Podfest 2021, hit on tickets, use our promo code T20E World, and you will get in there for free. I'm telling you, good stuff. Anybody wants to learn about anything, really, there's podcasters from all over the world specifically presenting about different topics. Romina, what's some of yours?
So actually, my presentation, which was the previous week,
I was on it.
I have three total, actually.
You've been busy.
So the pre-week one was converting guests into clients, and I just pretty much broke down a strategy combining sales with the business development overall for podcasters. The second one that I did, it was leveraging podcasts to grow business. It was actually a survey that I conducted with 100 individuals that have podcasts and correlate their podcast with their business.
Awesome.
And we asked them really deep questions, like how much have you seen your business grow since you launched your podcast? How much do you spend per year?
Yep.
Do you outsource edit? Do you keep it in house? Little important elements. So this way,
very important elements.
Yeah, a little important.
Yeah, right.
And then be able to read the data behind it and kind of see where the podcasting and the business world is going, and then giving my suggestions, looking at the numbers, since I'm a numbers person. Like I see the numbers and I see business opportunity everywhere. So
you
that's
hear
what
this?
I broke down.
To our fans, you hear this? Romina's a number person. Part
I
of being an entrepreneur.
You have to keep track of numbers, right?
No doubt.
And then the third presentation, it will be in Albanian because podcasting is worldwide. I'm giving a presentation in Albanian to educate the Albanian community that has just Albanian.
I love it. That's awesome. Hey, listen, so I know that you're also the founder and CEO of your own company, right? 6-7 Radius LLC. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yes. So 6-7 Radius, as a matter of fact, so I'll explain a little bit why the name, right?
Okay.
So the idea behind it is I'll watch your 6 while you shoot for your lucky number 7. So This way, it's a partnership. Whenever you work with me,
that's so cool.
I want you to look at it as a partnership. Like I have your back, no matter what time of the day, like your marketing or your PR goes down, you can just call me because I'm a very personable person. Therefore, I wanted to make sure that shows just on the name itself.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
6-7 Radius is a PR, marketing, and sales business. We have different clients where we help with their PR. They can be consultants of different professions towards business, towards sales, towards, health. So it's different consultants that we help through, as well as we love sales. I come from a sales world of over 10 years.
And that's where we connected.
Absolutely. And therefore, I train and I coach other individuals on how to build really good, solid foundation for their sales funnel and be able, even if they're entrepreneurs for their own business or just working a sales profession, be able to take the commission, those contracts to the next level.
Awesome. And obviously, you are a podcaster, and I love the name, Coffee with Romina. It doesn't get better than that. So our listeners out there, you know what? Take a listen to Romina's podcast, Coffee with Romina. So let's dive into this. This is what I really wanted to talk to you about, is talking about the importance, right, of building that foundation in life. right? How important is it? Some people are just not blessed always to have that family structure that set that base. Some of us have to struggle and figure it out. But in the end of the day, the importance of establishing a foundation in life, whether it is family, whether it is work, sports, business. Talk to me a little bit about setting that footing. How important is it?
It's absolutely very important, and I can sit here and tell you it's important, just listen to me, but I'll demonstrate it to you from my own personal life. I moved to America at 17 by myself. I had no foundation. I had absolutely no connections here. I was divorced at 23 years old when I lost my identity, and I had to start literally from scratch.
Wow.
I was even worse where I was at 17. So once I got to the really rock bottom, I was able to build my foundation how I wanted and build it so strong. So no matter what thunderstorm comes now, I know that I can handle it. So when I say about building a solid foundation, you definitely don't want to pretend to have this empire that you're building up. And then one wind, it'll come out and then you'll be destroyed and you're not going to know how to handle a situation, how to manage stress, how to manage your own emotions. Therefore, not only in business, but in life, you need to build a solid foundation. And if right now, the listeners, you are at the rock bottom, just know it goes only up from there. And you need to be there
No
in
doubt.
order to start strong.
Absolutely. We talk about some of our topics in the past have been like, for example, the mindset and determination. I mean, really, it's so important because, like what you just said, you structure that foundation. And from there, you always build upon. It's almost like if you hit rock bottom, the truth of the matter is it will get better. I always try to explain that. Don't focus so much on the tragedy of everything today.
Yeah.
Focus on getting out and moving forward because there is always light at the end of the tunnel. And listen, like I said, it doesn't only apply to the life, right? Let's talk a little bit about business, sales, entrepreneurship. We were chatting a little bit about this, about business and sales and work ethics. I love one of the examples that you were using in your podcast. You kind of mentioned how some people build that empire with bricks. You compared it to sand. It was amazing. The comparison and the explanation was just fascinating. Anybody ever has a chance, go on Romina's podcast, listen to that episode. Forget the complete name, but it had to do with the bricks versus sand, correct?
Yeah, build an empire with bricks, not sand.
Yeah,
That's
talk
the
to me a little bit
episode.
about that. Give me some explanations because I thought it was a great little podcast.
Yeah, so I actually launched that podcast episode after Podfest last year.
Yeah.
And the reason why I did that is because so many people, I just keep hearing left and right that people just want to be entrepreneurs. And because it's just a trendy thing to do. But whenever it comes to like actually put in the grind, put in the work, having to miss family events, having to miss parties and everything, I have joy out of missing out because I can do my own thing. Therefore, I'm like, build a castle and build your empire because let's be honest, you're starting an entrepreneurship world because you don't want to just work for somebody else. You have like an end goal in your mind. Therefore, whatever you do, you got to put that grind work in it that you got to know your own business from the ground up. You got to know accounting, you got to know PR, you got to know every single username and password, you got to know every single client because if you just pick up one client here, like, oh, I'll just get a little bit of money here, a little bit of money here, a little bit of money here, you're going to overwhelm yourself so much that your business is just going to crumble. I'm very selective on my clients. Like people would want to hire me and I turn clients down because I want to see long-term vision, me and you working. I want to see us building a mini empire together. That whenever you think of Romina, you're like, yes, she helped me take my business to the whole nother level. It wasn't just, oh, I just outsourced my work to her, and
That's
it was
right.
a good experience.
That's right.
That's what I mean by building a foundation with bricks. So this way, later on down the road, you're not worried if, if COVID, for example, if you build your business through sand, COVID happens, you have no relationship with your clients. You have no relationship with your
So challenging.
with your supplier.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by bricks. Like try to break a brick, right? And then try to have some sand all in your hand and you just blow it away and just disappear.
Gone. Yep.
That's it. So everything that you do, just try to look at it. Is this a brick that will help me to add to my empire, to my castle? Or is this a sand that will just, fly away once a little wind comes around?
Another comparison that we were chatting about, which is awesome, is establishing the foundation. We're going to stick to this analogy, right? The bricks versus the sand. Is when you are setting that base, that foundation, whatever it is, life, business, sales, school, anything. Think of it like this. If you try to cheat the system and you try to build the foundation with what you're calling the cement to get the foundation, the footings, the bricks, the concrete cinder blocks, anything that you think of as a solid base, and you cheat yourself by adding extra sand, I got news for you. It's going to crumble. That is why it's so vital, like Romina says, you put the grind in. You want the right result. You want that castle, that structure, that foundation to last forever, like the Egyptian pyramids, like some of these castles that are located all over the world, like what the Incas, the Mayas, the Aztecas, the Egyptians, and all over the world built. They're still standing. They didn't cheat. Again, I'm using examples here, right? Bricks versus sand. And this is how you structure everything that you will do. You know, if you're thinking of business, if you're thinking of sales, and Romina, you and I, we spoke about sales. We grew up hardcore, right? Sales all the way up to building companies, you know?
I mean, like Zig Ziglar says, okay, like you sell yourself since you're a baby. You cry because you want to be feted. Like, and you close a deal because you get feted every time, or you get a little snack if, you know, your parents don't listen to you.
You're
we
so
sell
right,
ourselves every single day.
Every day.
And sales is a world that I will never leave because I enjoy it and it gives me satisfaction. Like I just want to connect with people and sell stuff just because that gives me a full joy, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I love what I do. A lot of what you were talking about before, right? It's the passion that you have, the drive that you have as an entrepreneur, right? To make what your vision is real. So you set targets all the time. I mean, in the short time that we know each other, I mean, you have a whiteboard behind you with things you got to do today. That's why I appreciate your time. I mean, you're on the grind and the hustle each and every day. And I know you have a full calendar because you're in Podfest, and I know you're presenting another few topics. So I just want our listeners to get a lot out of this one podcast that we have with Romina here, because to set the foundation of life and everything you do, you got to think of it like that. And if it means think of it bricks versus sand, do it. Don't cheat yourself. That footing has to be solid if it's going to last forever. And in anything you do, think of it like that. Let's talk a little bit about sales, because that's our passion.
Okay,
you know?
I'm down.
Yeah, we love that. Give me just little tidbits of suggestions to our listeners in the world of sales after you have established that foundation. And let's focus on the customer now. Talk to me.
Absolutely. So one advice that I can give everybody that is into sales, first and foremost, don't be the pushy salesperson that everybody hates, because we've been
about that all the time.
Well, we've been on both ends. We've been the customer at one point, and we've been the salesperson at their side. Therefore, why make such a bad reputation for the whole sales industry? Because a lot of people sometimes they don't focus on the long-term benefit from creating a relationship with the customer or with the client if they're running their business. They're thinking of, oh my God, I'll get this much commission, and then with this commission, I'll be able to pay X, Y, or Z, or to go to that vacation. Okay, congratulations. You closed that, you got the commission. What's next? You're going to start from scratch next month? Is that what's happening? Like, they don't nurture their leads and their prospects the right way. They try to focus on that short-term benefit instead of the long-term benefit. You would be amazed if you actually just switch it up just a little bit with your clients or with your customers. Again, I'm talking to the sales professionals and entrepreneurs. If you switch it up just a little bit and actually create that personal relationship, not the whole process will be a lot more enjoyable on your end, but for them would be a lot more enjoyable as well. Because guess what? Your client, you can go to dinner one day and actually be friends with that person. And you can actually, build an amazing referral system to it, because that's going to be your best advocate, because they have friends and their friends have friends and they have coworkers and they have neighbors. They will be your biggest advocate if you treat them the right way for them to send you more customers. Because especially entrepreneurship, you're working so hard to get leads, but you're just killing the leads that you're getting because you're trying to be so hungry about just the commission or that one-time check.
Totally on point with that comment. And it's so true. I've known so many salespeople, their commission checks are spent already before they get paid. You know, they're not building the funnel. It's called hit and run. And the importance is exactly what you said, Romina. A true, solid sales professional, and I've been doing this a long time, is one that nurtures relationships. You become the true partnerships, right? The 6, 7. You really build on that relationship. And what happens? You establish a sense of trust.
Yeah.
You become the consultant in that relationship. You become the go-to person. And in many cases, you become such close friends that, next thing you know, you're at their kids' birthday parties or something. But that's how you have, long-term partnerships. You forget that they're a customer. And not only that, but it is part of building building the network. And listen, you're setting the foundation. I hate
Yep.
to say this, but everything we're talking about today is establishing that solid foundation in life and everything you do. When you're working in sales and you're trying to close more opportunities, forget about the one pops, man. Focus and get the best out of that account by establishing a relationship.
And
It
if
is
I can
key. Go ahead, Romina.
And if I can add something else to it, I'll say like people come out there and are ready to purchase something because of a life event. That might be a positive or a negative life event. If it's a positive one, we tend to forget to congratulate them. For example, somebody might just start a new business, just adopted somebody, had a new kid, extended their family, got a house, whatever the reason can be. Congratulate them and actually be a human for a second. Or
That's
if they're
right.
coming because of a negative thing, just ask them, say, hey, besides actually trying to help you with this deal, is there anything I can do to like make your day feel better? You can literally say a silly dad joke and you will make them laugh and you'll start their day a lot better. And now they'll remember you.
Oh my
Like,
God.
think of it as you might be the person who also might make somebody's day. And you know what?
Absolutely.
Somebody else will make your day by a sale too, because it's a whole rotation system.
Keeping it real. I always say, keep it real. Be you and don't forget who you are, meaning don't be someone you're not. That is so
That will
important.
come out.
Yeah.
People can read through fake.
Oh,
And one
absolutely.
day it will come out. So just be real.
That's right. No, that's great advice there, Romina. And Romina actually has put together an online course, right? And talk to me a little bit about that. Share the name again.
Yeah, absolutely. So the online course is Sales Love Averages, Mastering the Sales Funnel Through Sales and Negotiation Tactics, which is a
Awesome.
mouthful.
Yeah.
But this is what the course is. I'm sure if you're into the sales world or if you're an entrepreneur, you've read sales books, right? You're like, I need to read about this tactic and this tactic and this tactic. But all these tactics are just out there. People are just giving you, here you go, read all of them. But you're like, where in the world do I apply to this in the sales
That's
funnel?
right.
What does a sales funnel look like? Because I'm working so hard on the marketing with those paid ads, with advertising, and then I'm wasting those because I don't even know how to convert those leads. So what the course is built is to take you step by step from the lead to decision maker to pitches to sales, the proper tactics that you can use in order to increase that conversion from one bracket to the other. So instead of the national average for conversions is 20%, which is leads to sales, this course is going to be able to help you so that bracket, when it narrows down at the bottom, you'll be able to open up a little bit, because by increasing each conversion by lead to decision
Yep.
maker to decision to pitches,
Yep.
you'll be able to, guess what,
Increase.
increase
Yeah.
the conversion at the end
Increase
of the
the, yep.
equation. So
That's
that's what the course is built to.
that's fascinating. Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
I
I
know that's a
appreciate
lot
that.
of work. That's a lot of work. Let me ask you, how do we find this online course? Share the link.
So if you actually just go to
That's easy.
connectwithromina.com/courses, it's
Hmm.
easy. And what we'll do for you guys too, if you actually use the promo code T20eWorld, T like Tango, 20, E like Echo, and then the word world, we'll be able to go ahead and apply a 50% off for the price, you
Oh
guys.
man,
So,
that's awesome. Thank you so much.
I
Did
mean,
you
we love
listeners
Hugo.
hear
So
this? T20E
South, the
World.
love north, love north, right? So
That's
let's
right.
spread 50%
There
off
you go.
everywhere.
You're showing the love. Thank you so much, Romina. Listen, I wanted to dive backwards here into your podcast a little bit
Yeah.
because Romina and I, when we connected on so many different levels, okay? The fact that we both love soccer, bam, right there, home run, right? Or I should say, hitting the goal, scoring the goal, right?
And I love because on my presentation for the goal, because I started with I have a goal for all the attendees. At
Yeah.
the end, it was the ball on the net,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, I remember. Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's where we're like, okay, perfect. He's like, I
yeah.
love soccer. I'm like, yes, we can be
Yeah.
friends, totally.
Entrepreneur, then we hit it off with sales, then
Yeah.
podcasting. So it was just like, bam. I said, Romina, I need you on my podcast like pronto. So here we are today recording. Look at this 24/7 gig. I always say entrepreneurship. You want to dive into it? Be ready for the 24/7 gig. Talk to me about your podcast. And the reason is because I know that you cover topics very similar to what we do here at T20E World. I know you talk about life lessons, right?
Mhm.
And business. Share some other episodes with us targeting these areas.
Yes, absolutely. Before I even get started, I want to just be a little honest and share why I even started the podcast.
Yeah, I'd
I
love to
was
hear
stuck.
it.
I was stuck in a phase that I was doing so much. I'm leading a college chapter for a big HR organization, receiving national awards. I'm working sales, making really good money. I'm going to school. I'm road tripping America. Like, I have a lot in my plate. But on my career, I just felt like I was working sales and I was stuck. Like, I know what I can do. I'm always on the top of, my whole department, which I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I make like 12 millions in sales in 1 year. And I'm
Love it.
like, this is really good, right? But I'm like, there's more out there for me. And I was stuck and I didn't know what to make for the next step for myself. So I keep listening to podcasts and I was like, how about I actually put my sales, mentality, put my sales hat on and be able to interview others to how did they achieve what they did. So we interview professionals of different careers and ask them really fundamental questions like, how did you overcome career and personal obstacles? And I keep it very real on the podcast. I will not fluff it up for you. And I had episodes that even like my mother one time, she's like, you cannot talk about this. And I was like, no, I need to. Like, I even talk about writing your own neology. Like, okay, like, I know this is a dark episode, a little bit, but it will happen.
You're right, though.
But what do you want people to remember you by? You want to be remembered as nice, as somebody that helps somebody. You want to be remembered as that amazing sister, amazing daughter. But are you that, though? Let's do a reverse engineering. So I keep it very real. I have no filter on my podcast. We have to actually put it in there that is, explicit because even the guests get so passionate sometimes that we just with Alex Sanfilippo, I was like, how did you handle like entrepreneurship loneliness? He's like, a lot of podcasters don't go there. I'm like, no, let's keep it real. Like, how did you handle it? You just launched Podmatch, which is like the best platform out there between podcast guests and hosts. What did you do? And then he's like, it was rough. He's like, I had to like tell my wife to leave the house because she would feel bad that I was working. He's like, I had to tell my friends to see me at least once a week.
It gets crazy, yeah.
So he's like, it was rough, but that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Again, because entrepreneurship is something trendy, but people don't realize the back end work of it.
Yeah, listen, I'm always for it. Like I talk about this because I think it's important that everybody in life gives it a shot, and it's not for everybody. And it's cool. Like you just said, listen, you were working for a top 500 company. That's corporate America. So you always learn the good, the bad, the ugly. You decide to make that shift. First off, making that shift from corporate America is not easy, especially when you're making money.
Absolutely. I mean, they have the benefits. That's what keeps you there.
Benefits, salary. Listen, again.
You look at your 401k and you're like, I don't know if I want to leave. This money, this number looks good.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not for everyone. But if you do make that shift and you have an idea and you really are passionate about trying this, do it. Especially when you're younger, especially when you're in your 20s, because there's no such thing as failure. You're going to learn if you make a mistake. You just better not do it again, and you move forward, and it's only experience that you're capturing in life, right? And you could actually apply all that back into corporate America,
Absolutely. And something that I would love to add, especially if you're in America and you're listening to this episode, I'm Albanian originally. But I have to say, maybe you guys don't know like the mentality in like close cultures. In America, if you have a business, it runs for a while, it's successful, and then you fail at it, you don't have the stigma of failure behind it. You will literally have a whole tribe supporting you and asking you like, what did you learn from this? What happened? In other cultures, you'll have the stigma of like, oh, your business failed, so don't talk to us. Like, you're not one of us. So with that perception as well, literally take advantage and leverage it as much as possible, because the successful entrepreneur, it takes them at least 3 to 5 business failures in order to be where they're at and then to end up being the Elon Musk. Like, you think he just got there?
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to one of his interviews recently. He said he could not afford an apartment. Him and his brother rented an office and they would take turns to sleep in the couch. His brother would work in the morning, he would work night. And he said it was just a small office that would take turns. And they would just shower at the gym. Like, that's the struggle for them to be where they're at right now.
Yeah. I mean, listen, there's all levels. And I'm not kidding. There are all different levels of entrepreneurship. Elon Musk is the extreme, right? And I mean, listen, I've had my buddy Wilson Kriegel. He's been on my podcast. He went from celebrity status to having nothing, to living homeless for 2 years, living on $10 a day, came back to do 7 startups. One of them being PixArt, the #1 downloaded app, over 1 billion downloads. Company is sold, he's set, but the struggles behind it to get there are crazy. Different levels of entrepreneurship, right? Some people just want to kind of dabble in it, just like podcasting. Some people want it as a hobby, man. They want to just try something different. That's cool. That's cool. But there's so many people out there that take it to another level. As a matter of fact, and you listen to both of our presentations, mine specifically talks about building the brand, right? Not only the brand, but the team behind the podcaster, right? Because if you want to take podcasting and you know, my topics, life lessons, businesses, entrepreneurships, and you want to take that to another level, you got to have a team behind you. You know, you got to put the grind behind it because it's not a hobby. Like, I love it and I feel like it is a hobby, but it's a business, you know, and listen, it's just another example of setting that footing, that foundation, and establishing solid bricks to build the base. And from there, you can only go up. So, Romina, I want to really thank you because I invited you last minute and because we connected and I said, you have to be on this podcast. And I know you had a busy schedule already and you kind of made time for us. So thank you so much for being on our podcast. I want you to share your contact information with our listeners, please. And then your podcast, which is Coffee with Romina. How do they get a hold of you, Romina?
Absolutely. So they can actually go to connectwithromina.com. I do have a weird last name, so don't even try that, guys. Just connect with Romina on all social. You can find me with that handle, as well as my website is connectwithromina.com. Therefore, just go ahead and send me a message there or be able to contact me directly. If you do want to send me an email, just do Romina, ROMINA, at number 6, SIX, number 7, radius.com. So 6-7.
Yep.
So 6 is spelled out, 7 is just a number, you guys.
And I'll be sharing this anyway on our write-up here. We'll be across all platforms. Be sure to kind of like us. Please give us a 5-star rating. And also follow us on any platform that you may have. And we are on every digital platform as well. Romina, I want to ask you before we wrap up, and it's just been a great topic today, solid foundation of life here. What one advice, I know there's 1,000 out there that you could give us, but what one advice would you share with all of our listeners today?
Oh, I get only one.
Yes.
Okay. I'll go with one of my favorite things to do too.
Okay.
If at the end of the day, whenever you're like brushing your teeth, you look at yourself in the mirror, you can honestly look at yourself and know that you gave 100% for the day and you gave your best for the day, then feel satisfied. Even if you had negative news for the day, just feel satisfied, know that you gave your 100% because those will add up. Like the big 1,000 piece puzzle, it's just a little pieces there, here and there, right? Yep. So just know you gave 100%, even if you didn't. Don't be too harsh on yourself, but know you have to make it up the next day for it.
I love it. Oh, Romina, thank you. Yeah, that's awesome advice. Thank you so much. And to all our listeners out there, T20E World, thank you for listening in. And this is Romina and Hugo, and we are checking out.